Shalom. Today we will be going over how to meal plan and make a grocery list. Meal planning is the process of building a menu that helps you reach your nutritional needs. It can take the guesswork out of dinner time, help you to stay on track with your budget, and help you reach your nutritional goals. There's a saying, if you are failing to plan, you are planning to fail. And that's not us, right? We're going to make sure that we're planning accordingly. So we want to pick a day that we can sit down and write out every meal we plan on eating in the upcoming week. I like to do this on Friday mornings. I also like to do my groceries shopping on Friday mornings as well. That way, when I'm ready to meal prep on Sunday, I have everything I need and I don't have to leave the house to get anything. Be sure to incorporate your specific nutritional needs into your meal planning. So, what do I mean by that? If you're pre diabetic or diabetic or have any type of metabolic syndromes going on, high cortisol, anything like that, you want to make sure that you're planning meals that's going to help address those areas. So, that would mean like planning meals with fruits and vegetables that are low on the glycemic index versus using fruits and vegetables that are high on the glycemic index. That way, we're making sure that our blood sugar stays stabilized or addressing anti inflammatory needs to help bring that cortisol down. Be mindful. We are eating to fuel our bodies, right? And make sure that our bodies are optimized so that we can lose weight. Plan meals that include eating a variety of foods like whole grains, lean proteins, fruits, and vegetables. Meal planning is so important because it takes away the last minute decision making that typically leads to poor decisions. You know, when you're just hangry or you just to that point where like you'll just eat anything and then all your hard work for the day is gone, just because you made a poor decision. So if we stay ready, we don't have to get ready, and we already know what we're going to eat every day, and we can be prepared. Some other things we need to consider when meal planning is our calorie intake. We can determine this by using a TDEE calculator. This will take into account of your age, your height, your weight, and your activity level, as well as some other factors to determine what your BMR or basal metabolic rate is. This will give you your minimal amount of calories that your body needs in order for it to perform all the functions that it needs to perform every day, like breathing, digesting food, etc. The TDEE calculator, it should also give you an option to put in for the calorie deficit for you based off of your individual body needs. Typically, it goes from 300 calories up to 500 calories. I don't recommend going into a deficit starting out if you're just beginning with this method with on the extreme end of the 500, because you can only keep going down from there, right? You don't want to cause your body to also go into a fat saving or storing mode later on down the road when you hit a plateau. When you hit a plateau, you're going to have to do, there's only two things you can do. You can either increase activity or decrease your intake. And if you're already at the highest end of your nutritional needs as far as a TDEE calculator calorie intake recommends for you, then you're on the borderline of possibly going into fat storage mode, which will prevent you from losing further weight. We want to make sure that our pantry and fridge is stocked with the items that we need for the upcoming week. We also need to make sure that we're prepping our meals the night before. However, if you're not a person that likes to prep your meals every night, I got you. Coming up are the 5 rules of meal prep, and they give an alternative way to meal prep for us. Rule number 1 is to get organized. So we're already on track with that, with planning our meals to begin with. The next step in being organized is to make sure that we have enough food prep containers, and also a food scale. Sisters, let's be real. Like, I know that we can use like our hands and we can use all these other different ways of measuring or eyeballing our food. However, if you're really serious about losing the weight and making sure that you're addressing all your nutritional needs as well as portion control and reaching all your macronutrient needs for the day, we need to weigh out our food. Like, for example, a rule of thumb is that a serving size of meat is the size of your palm. Well, we all have different size hands. Everybody's hand is not the same size. So, there can be some variation with it. So, if you want to be accurate and just make sure that you're hitting everything that you need to hit, all your targets, the best way is to weigh out your food. And that's where the food scale comes in hand. Rule number 2, establish a logical menu. So we've already kind of talked on your individual nutritional needs. So with this, we want to consider what our upcoming week looks like. Are you having to travel through the week? Is there a feast day through the week? For me personally, if there is travel involved for work during the week, I will make sure that I have meals that can last or that's safe for me to travel with. I also make sure that if there is a feast day coming up, that I take my feast meal to the school with me, so that way I'm still able to be celebrating with my sisters and eating with my sisters, but I'm eating a meal that is in alignment with my nutritional and health and fitness goals. Rules number 3 through 5, they all kind of go hand in hand to me. So rule number 3 is cook efficiently. Rule number 4 is don't cook everything in advance, which leads us right on into rule number 5, which is to follow good food conservation practices. According to foodsafety.gov, meal prepped food typically lasts up to 4 days in the fridge. I know a lot of times on social media, I see people that meal prep for 5 to 7 days at a time. And that's really kind of depending on what it is that they're meal prepping. But just according to foodsafety.gov, we want to be on the safe side 4 days. So that means we need to set aside 2 days out of the week to actually meal prep. So after we've made our meal plan, being conscious of our individual nutritional needs, everything like that, considering our upcoming week, if we have to travel or if there's a feast day. Next, we want to make out our grocery list. In this grocery list, we want to write down every ingredient that is needed for every meal that's on our meal plan with the quantity that is needed. Once we get all of that information together, it's time to go and shop our pantry. So we will take that list and see what do we have on hand already and adjust our quantity needed as necessary. So for instance, I may need 5 cups of cauliflower rice for the week, and I go into my freezer and I already have 2 cups. That means I only need to buy 3 more cups at the grocery store. Once we have adjusted all the quantity of ingredients needed, that final list should be what you should actually go to the grocery store and purchase. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Shalom.